Hello readers, welcome to Summer Story Channel Purple Pebble. Today we are reading The Red Thread. It's an adoption fairy tale by Grace Lynn. So let's start. This story again, you have heard it 100 times. Are you sure? Okay, I'll read it. Once a king and queen ruled over a magnificent kingdom. Their subjects loved them. Their castle shone like the sun, and there was never any famine or drought. They knew they were very lucky, yet something was missing. One morning, the queen woke up with a pain in her heart. It was a steady ache that filled her with sadness. "I have a pain in my heart," she said to the king. "It is a hurt that will not leave." "I feel it too," the king said. "It feels as if my heart is tearing in two." So the king and queen called in doctors and scientists, wise men and medicine women. The healers made them drink special teas, breathe in orange herbs, recite rhyming poetry, and wear metal bracelets, but nothing worked. The pain remained and grew worse each day. The king and queen began to lose hope that their suffering would end. One day an old peddler wheeled his cart of trinkets into the kingdom. Hearing about the king and queen's distress, he requested an audience. "It's as I thought," the man said when he saw them. "There is a red thread being pulled from your hearts." "A red thread?" the queen gasped. "Where?" "I see nothing," the king said. "Try on my spectacles," the peddler said, holding out his wire frames. "You'll see." And sure enough, when the queen put on the glasses, she could see a brilliant red thread coming from her heart. It ran around the room, out the castle door, and far beyond. With every move she made, the thread pulled and twisted, causing her pain. The peddler found another pair of spectacles for the king. The king, too, saw a thread coming from his heart. The two threads had knotted together into one thick strand. "We must cut the thread," the king declared. But no scissors, knife, or blade could cut the thread any more than they could cut a beam from the moon. "What should we do?" the queen cried in anguish. "You will have to follow the thread," the peddler told them. "You both must find out who or what is pulling on the other end." So the king and queen packed a basket of food and left the kingdom in the care of the queen's sister. They followed the red thread out of the castle, and their subjects waved farewell. Even though the king and the queen were sad to leave their kingdom, each step they took lessened the pain in their hearts. It was a long and difficult journey. Snow fell and sharp rocks made holes in their shoes. The king and queen shivered in the cold, and their fine clothes ripped from wear. Kind birds flew to help them untangle the thread from tree branches. But the king and queen continued. They knew following the red thread was their only cure. As they traveled, the thread grew shorter and shorter. Yet when the thread led them to the shore of a vast sea, they almost despaired. But the thread tugged at them, so they bought a boat and began to row. With every stroke of the oars, they wondered what was pulling the thread. Was it a ferocious beast or a cruel magician? What would they do when they met whatever was on the other end? The king and queen finally reached the shore of a faraway land. The red thread guided them to a small village. The people stared at them. They were so strange, with their clothes ripped to rags, hair tangled, and faces as pale as the moon. But the villagers smiled a greeting, for they were a friendly people. The king and queen, however, took little notice of anyone. The end of the red thread was within their sight. They ran to a small bundle in front of an old house. When they reached the bundle, both stopped in amazement. Inside the bundle was a baby. She was laughing and playing and tugging at the red threads tied around each of her ankles. She looked up at the king and queen and smiled. "Whose baby is this?" the queen asked. "Who does she belong to?" Her words were strange to the villagers, who chattered a language that the king and queen couldn't understand. Finally, a wrinkled elder pushed herself forward. The elder's bespectacled eyes followed the short red threads connecting the king and queen to the baby. Her face broke into a broad smile. "This baby," the old woman said, "belongs to you." So the king and queen took the baby home to their castle and she became the princess of the kingdom. They never felt the pain in their hearts again. Instead, they were filled with joy and happiness. They never found out how the red thread had connected them to their daughter, but they knew why, and that was all that mattered. The king and queen searched for the old peddler to reward him for his help, but he had moved on to the next kingdom. He had heard the king and queen there were suffering from a pain in their hearts. Yes, it's our favorite story too. The end. What a great story. I hope you have enjoyed it too. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button and buy a copy of this amazing book for your home library to support the authors and publishers. Thank you.